Hello, this is Brian again. Welcome to the next installment of my Peak 3480 hike. So I've been trying to hike back for a while, but I keep getting turned. Can't really even see the fire break from here. I was up there and further beyond, and so I'm going down. Then I see myself veering off down towards that tributary of Hot Springs Canyon, or veering off too far, what I thought would be too far to the right. So I think I'm back on track now. I need to get over this little bump right here. So no, I'm not worried about being lost, but I kind of lost my bearings a little bit, like in the general vicinity of where the fire break was, because it's very overgrown. Very overgrown over here. So right now I'm just trying to follow this line of shrubs until I can get over that. Once I get over that, I should be okay. Actually, it became a little bit of a navigational challenge because I was hiking over through some brush, and then I see a wall of chaparral. Like, okay, can't go there. Then turn around, go slightly a different direction. Like, I'll be hiking right, run into that wall of chaparral, like I said. I go left, and I start going down the canyon a little bit. Like, I'm not supposed to be going down there. I'm supposed to be following the ridge. It's a lot more open over here, so far not so bad over here. That's a huge root burrow. Look at that. I wonder what made that root burrow. Whatever it was didn't resprout. I guess sometimes some plants, after a while, they get too often burnt by fire, they might decide to quit on you. Well, you know, they store up energy in those root burrows so they can resprout. But if fires keep coming too often, the plant's not going to have any reserve left. You build up reserves over years, and you build them up over decades. So that's why I see quite a few root burrows that were uprooted along this, on the way up and now on the way back. Tell you one thing, this is an interesting area. Just like I said, keep an eye on where you're going. It's kind of hard to pinpoint familiar landmarks right here in the immediate vicinity, because no matter where you go, it looks like it's the same. See, now like I said, I don't think I'm walking the exact same way. Definitely not walking the exact same line that I walked up, because there's not even really, I don't see any traces of a use trail left over. And if I get over this hump, I should be okay. I know where I'm pretty sure I can locate the fire break when I get up there. But just interesting, I came up for like a little mini hike and ended up in this gnarly little adventure. I'm just trying to stay as close to the fire break as I can, so I don't end up stepping in poodle dog bush, which luckily I haven't done yet. Keep getting whacked by these stalks from golden eardrops. It's a perennial herb in the poppy family. It has these really interesting shaped yellow flowers. So this just looks like grass to me. I think I'm definitely off base right now. I mean, get over that hump there, should be okay. It's not like I'm lost in the middle of the wilderness. But it is kind of making this into a little bit of an adventure. I mean, this is completely cross-country hiking again. I didn't intend it to be. I intended to follow a fire break, but The image on Google Earth is from 2018, around when the fire was happening, and the fire had already come over this area, and you can still see a fire break. But a couple years later, things have changed quite a bit. Things are growing back, and that's how things get to be quite overgrown. So now, like I said, I'm just going to keep following this line of shrubs right here. These relatively unburnt shrubs. And I'm just going to climb up over this hill over here. This is the false summit I was talking about in my earlier clip. I told you there was a notable fall. I told you there was a false summit on the way up. And this is it right here. This is the false summit when you're coming up. Now, maybe once I get up to the top of this little mound here, should be able to navigate my way without much further ado. Like I said, you can't really see the fire break that well. Now I get the impression that the fire break's actually going to be over there. This is a different angle. This is definitely a different angle than when I came through here. Much different angle. Yeah, because I don't remember this manzanita patch over here. Pretty sure I was on the other side. But maybe when I get up to the crest of the hill, maybe I'll get to see where I might have made a wrong turn. I'm back in the general vicinity. Okay. I said, I wasn't worried about getting lost. It's just getting back without too much bushwhacking and craziness. Yeah, because I was over here earlier with the poodle dog bush. Over here, this is what I was talking about earlier. So now I know I'm really back, pretty much back on track. We just need to hike up between the shrubs and just find the pathway down. Interesting to see this in recovery. Saw how large some of these manzanitas were. These are all Eastwood manzanitas here. Some of these manzanitas were probably about 10 feet tall. Pretty tall. They can get taller sometimes. But these are shrubs that were not disturbed for decades. It takes a long time to achieve stature like that. And now I'm on a warm, heading up this warm hill. Starting to get kind of toasty. Well, I just saw an Audubon's cottontail hopping off in the brush. There was an old chemise. But as I get to the top of this hill, I'm going to have to study the landscape below so I know exactly where my fire break is, so I can follow it back down to where I'm parked. So let's see. Let's see. See if I can make this happen without any undue difficulty. I think we're, yeah, here we are. I think this is it right here. Yeah. it was to the left of all that poodle dog bush. Back on track now. Let's follow this the rest of the way back down. Should get back to my car. But yeah, I'm back on the firebreak. Rest of the way navigation should be pretty simple. I'm heading back from the false summit area. Just wish I got footage of that Audubon's cottontail. It hopped away way too quickly for me to be able to get footage of it. Beautiful little rabbit. I see him fairly often. Pretty bunnies. They have little white tails, and then there's the mine again. That's over towards the Old Dominion mine. So you got a little bit of history here. I know they got quite a few mines at the foot of the Santa Ana Mountains by Lake Elsinore. Watching people's videos on YouTube, they're talking about the mines. There are like a lot of mine adits and mine shafts over there. I can kind of see here where the soil's disturbed down roughly in the center of the frame there. That's pretty much where I guess the tailings of the mine are, where it was dug out of the side of the hill. I can see my car. That was quite an interesting little adventure I just took. I mean, like I said, I've done this peak before, but it seemed a lot easier to follow and stay along the path before, even when the shrubs were cross-knitting, branches were cross-knitting. You can still see the trail by your feet. Pretty much I'd say the whole time I was coming up here, I could see it. So, yep, got to see my first poodle dog bush in the Santa Ana Mountains. And I always talk about avoiding it. Oh, I don't want to run into it, and da-da-da. But it is one of our native plants, and I love talking about our native plants, so poodle dog bush is a California native. So I talk about that like I would talk about California sycamores and big leaf maples and Pacific ponderosa pines. You know, it's part of our natural heritage here. But you can see where I'm parked. A little white dot in the center of the screen. That's my Jeep. I'd be kind of glad to maybe see if any of my frozen water bottles have melted enough for me to take some sips. But I gotta take my time going down this because this is very steep and very, a lot of loose pebbles on top of the dirt that could make footing here treacherous. The soil itself underneath all the rocks and pebbles, really not that super bad. It's actually not very loose. It's just, like I said, the rocks on top of it make it loose. And we're coming to a rocky section over here. So, Peak 3480. Interesting. It's a place I've been before and got a renewed sense of adventure. This will be my second time up here. Again, it's on peakbagger.com. It's actually listed on Peakbagger. It's on the topo maps, I believe, and it's listed on Peakbagger. And then the small hill in front of it I was pointing out earlier, point 3412, is I don't believe is on Peakbagger. No, I don't think so. But I believe it's represented on the topo maps, if I remember correctly. It should be on the topo maps. That's how I know the elevation. So, if you do want to make it over there, just beware that once you get over the false summit and start climbing up towards the main summit of Peak 3480, it's going to be very overgrown with brush. nothing serious to bushwhack through. There's no real serious bushwhacking involved, but you're going to be brushing up, so you won't be seeing a trail under your feet in the small herbaceous coverage. You won't be seeing a trail. You're gonna have to try to follow the ridge as best as you can if you decide to make a climb up here. Like I said, if this area were still part of the closure, I would not be here and violating that. But at least you get to see how chaparral and fire go, and also a lot of herbaceous plants that endure heavy fire regimes. Well, here's Main Divide over towards the Los Pinos Ridge, and again the tributary of Long Canyon, Old Dominion Mine. I'm gonna just put a little brief blip, probably in the description, about what was mined there. Maybe just a little blip. And then this is just going to be me descending back, so I don't think there's really much more that I could add to this interesting little hike, other than a well wishes for people celebrating Valentine's Day. I probably won't be uploading this till after Valentine's Day. Probably won't be uploading this till probably at least tomorrow, the 15th, Monday, because my days off are Sunday, Monday, for the time being. Luckily, my supervisor is very, very good about giving me back-to-back days off. She's, when I was a department manager, there would be times where I would go weeks or even sometimes like a month and a half without hiking, because I would have split days off. And when I do those rigorous hikes, which I got to start getting back into, I like to have the next day off to rest. I don't want to have to feel rushed to get home, get showered up, clean, and then rush to get to bed, to get up early to go to work. I used to go to work at 6 in the morning, but now I'm going in at 4. So it's all another reason why I really need my days off together so I can do these hikes. Because if I had to work tomorrow at 4 a.m., I would probably wouldn't be doing nearly as many adventures. I'm hoping to start upping the ante in the next coming weeks. I'm hoping in the next few weeks, weather depending of course, whether it's too hot or too snowed in, to maybe to hike up Mount Gleason Road to Mount Gleason, and maybe use the fire breaks in the area to hit some satellite summits too. So be on the lookout for a possible one of those in the next few weeks, maybe. That might be anywhere from a 15 to 20 mile hike, because you can't drive up Mount Gleason Road. You have to park at Mill Creek Summit, and you have to use your own power. I guess unless you have a horse. But I don't have a horse. I don't have a bike, so I'm gonna be hoofing it on foot. But that'll be the longest hike I've done since January of 2018, when I hiked Maple Springs, Silverado Canyon, all the way up to Santiago and Majestica Peaks. And that footage I think is long gone too. Keep an eye and see if I can still find it on my computer, because I would like to upload at least portions of it, because a lot of those clips, that was when I wasn't really uploading clips. I just shot videos, kind of like, I guess, practice for me recording videos for YouTube and stuff like that. So a lot of the clips are probably got like 20 clips, and most of them are about maybe anywhere from a minute to 3 minutes long. And I don't think it would be a really good idea to put 20-something clips, like a hike part 1 of 21, part 3 of 21, part 16 of 21. That would just be kind of ridiculous. So if I do find footage of that hike, if it's still on the family computer that got re-updated or something, then if I find it, I'll have to start putting some clips of that up because I'm very interested to see if that's still available. But made this already long enough. Thanks for watching the series. Hope that inspired you to start hanging out in the Santa Anas and start climbing mountains over here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next adventure.